right, welcome back to Project 3550. This is episode number 9. So I missed last week's check-in, so I apologize for the delay. I was super busy, but I got a little bit of time today to get you guys caught up to speed. So let's just say the month of September, when it comes to the prep, comes to fat loss, it's been really lackluster. I put the blame on myself because I just didn't get it done. My overall activity level was much lower through the months of September, and the adherence to the diet could definitely have been a lot better. I'd say my adherence was probably around 70%. So I was enjoying the weekends a little too much, and it started to trickle in through the week, and the adherence just wasn't there. And there was moments, that I've had here recently where I started to question myself, like, do I really want to put myself through this, to put myself, through another prep, get peeled and all that, because it is invasive to, overall life quality. And it's hard to balance both things out, like trying to maintain a high quality of life, being a good husband, being a good dad, and all that, having energy for that, and also having the energy to go through a contest prep. And usually about this time in my prep where I'm in the 190s, I always question myself, like, do I really want to do this? Because it's like I start out the gates pretty good, get some initial weight loss, and then you get to a point where you don't really see a lot of visual changes to get you super motivated. So it's hard to keep pushing through. So I told myself, take a big step back, recommit yourself, because if you can string together a good 2 or 3 weeks of progress, and if I can get myself into the low 190s and start getting myself into the 180s, then I'm going to break past point where I call the tweener stage. I lowered my calories down, and that's something that I didn't want to do with this prep, was to get calories too low. I wanted to see if I can just crank the activity level up and see if I could facilitate fat loss through the activity versus having low food. I would say from a practical standpoint, based off of how my day-to-day is now, so I don't have the time to do as much walking or as much recumbent bike and all that. So it just makes more sense from a practical standpoint to lower the calories down. And that's what I did this week. It's been a nice change. Like, I'm seeing slight visual changes this week. I'm feeling good about it. Hunger level, of course, naturally kind of went up a little bit first day or so, but I've acclimated. And once you're acclimated to it, then it gets a little bit easier and a little bit smoother. So that's basically kind of where I'm at right now with the prep. Struggling a little bit mentally. And it makes it worse when you get in that funk and you're like, you know what, screw this. And you start slipping up on the diet. You get a little lazy on the steps and all that. So again, just, pulling myself in, recommitting, and getting after it. And that's basically what I've done this week. So I feel much better right now, especially talking about it a little bit. And hopefully this kind of helps to relate with some of you out there who may be going through a little bit of a rough patch right now. You got to just keep persevering and try not to get inside of your own head. I know that's easier said than done. And even myself, who's been doing this for this is my going on my 35th year of training. I still struggle with some of these things from time to time. So outside of that, as far as my training world is concerned, that's been going pretty well as of the last couple of weeks. I've made some modifications to my split that's really helped with my overall quality, my overall performance, recovery. And the main adjustment that I've made was, in a sense, taking my sets from 3 per exercise down to 2 sets per exercise. With that drop in volume, I just nudged the intensity up a little bit more to ensure that I'm getting enough effective reps in there to maintain muscle mass. And it's helped tremendously. What I've noticed by doing this is that when I get into the gym, there's a lot more focus because I know I don't have to get through so much volume. Like, okay, I only have so many opportunities. So there's a lot more intention. The effort is actually amplified a bit. So I'm pushing myself more so. So my ability to increase the loads and increase the reps has been there. And I think a lot of that has to do with that intention, just mental wherewithal that, okay, I can push myself here, and I don't have to fear that I'm going to run out of gas by the end of the training session, or that after the session, I'm just going to feel dead in the water. I think a lot of that has to do just with the psyche. The other aspect of it is my overall fatigue levels are lower because I'm not doing as much volume. So I'm noticing that after my training sessions, I still have energy. Like when the sessions are over, I still feel like, hey, I can get in the house, cook my dinner, play with my son, that type of thing. And the next day, I don't feel as beat up. And having 3 recovery days throughout the week has helped out tremendously. I'm one who, if I train more than 2 days in a row, I'm good for nothing. Like I just get way too fatigued. Like, training Monday, Tuesday, having Wednesday off kind of breaks up that training there. And then my Thursday, Friday workouts are really, really good because of it. And again, because the overall volume is a little bit lower than where I was at, I'm noticing like throughout the entire week, I got plenty of energy, good performance, and good recovery. So front half of the week, a little bit heavier. I get after it. I have a rest day after that. Back half of the week, it's less invasive, and then I have the weekend to kind of rest up. So right now, I have a good flow as far as that supply and demand with the training. And I don't fear like any type of atrophy or like not having the ability to, let's say, improve my physique because I've lowered the volume down. Like I've picked up performance, and I'm noticing like my body's feeling much better. Like aches and pains are really dissipating a bit. My left elbow and left forearm is definitely improving because I was dealing with a lot of aches and pains with that. So everything's on the up and up with training. That's the one bright spot I could say over the last couple of weeks, is that my training has really thrived. And it's really positive to think about too. Like another perspective is even though I wasn't as adherent as I would like to be as far as the diet is concerned, the calories were up and the overall activity levels is down. So the training, if anything, the environment for that was prime, therefore more energy for that training. So that could be another part as to why the training is really thriving right now. And the performance is elevating, not so much just the training changes itself, but also the fact that a little more food I had throughout September, as well as the step count being a little on the lower side. So that's a positive. But outside of that, that's about it. So again, I just, recommitting myself for that fat loss, get myself to a point where I'm starting to look more like a bodybuilder. And I know once I do that, once I break through this little phase that I'm going through, come out the other side, it's going to be motivating. And that's when it gets really exciting. It's like when you see the progress happening, you see that visual progress, it's motivating, makes you want to do more. And that's what I want to get to. I want to get after it. Yeah, I just thinking like, I got to remember, I got to keep the goal the goal. The goal is to, get on stage in 2021 as a 50-year-old and kick some ass. But I'll leave it there. As always, you make sure you guys treat each other well. Any questions, concerns, comments, whatever, throw them down below. And I will do my best to get back to you and continue the conversation.